thing called the Empire State Building. I did one thing called the Conan O'Brien. It was fascinating. The hair was really, it was great. It was great. This is funny.
I thought you meant it just didn't work. Everyone settle down. I'll clear this area if I have to. I'll fill this. The buzz on Orange is the New Black. I've become addicted to it. My wife's addicted to it. And I talked to so many people who, yeah, of course, who were talking about the show. And what's cool is you get some neat guest directors.
Yeah, we've had some pretty incredible people come through. Jodie Foster, probably, you know, first person to come to mind.
She directed an episode.
She directed an episode. She directed an episode for me. I had some interesting stuff to do. I had to, my character was researching this thing called edging, which is where you essentially you masturbate, but you don't come to completion. You basically it involves a strategically placed digit, and then you like don't. Anyway, my point is,
what's the point? I mean, I saw that episode, but I don't remember what the point is of trying to do that to yourself, but not actually get to the fun part.
You are a stud. Come on, we love you. I love you. I look like a bad Spirit Halloween costume of you.
Looks like we're going as each other for Halloween.
Welcome back to the show. I have a lot of things to talk to you about.
Sure.
I want to talk about Spirited. I want to talk about Will Ferrell. I want to talk about, can we talk about baby number 4?
Boy. Congratulations. Let's get into it, Barbara Walters.
You know me.
Let's do this.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Baby number 4 on the way, number 4. I'm so happy for you and Blake.
Thank you.
Send
Very
my
exciting.
best to Blake, please.
I definitely will. Yeah, it's another. Yeah, no, it's a lot. I mean, we have 3. Beautiful girls right now, and fourth one on the way. It's really making me rethink stunts. You know, I've been doing action movies for 25 years. I've broken 12 bones. I just had a 7th surgery. And, you know, kids, though, they beat you up. I got, you know, my daughter's like, you know, I oftentimes, like, it's not an alarm clock that wakes me up. It's like a knee to the jugular.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. And, like, I just want to I'm rethinking doing stunts now because I'm starting to realize, like, I want to be able to still kind of be active with my kids and stuff. Like, I love throwing them up in the air. Like, I can throw my daughter Betty, especially. I can throw her. She's so little. I can throw her high in the air.
Yeah.
Still, and she loves it. The problem is I can't catch her.
Yeah. That's how they learn.
Anymore.
That's
so,
how they.
yeah,
that's how
the
you
biggest,
learn.
That's the biggest issue that I'm facing. But yeah.
Do you?
Roadhouse came right before Drugstore Cowboy.
Okay.
Like, literally, I wrapped Roadhouse and went right into Drugstore Cowboy. It was, like, such a funny...
Were those in the movie theater at the same time?
Pretty much, yeah.
So one minute you're in Gus Van Sant, another one...
2 completely different fan sets, although I do have the ironic Roadhouse people who love Roadhouse for the, you know, for the fun of it, and that are also Drugstore Cowboy fans, but they're usually... You know, so we thought it was like a one-off. It was pretty funny.
Yeah.
And then it came to a time where he was like in Russia. And so the time difference was a little upsetting in LA. He calls my husband to say again. And then all of a sudden his brothers started calling.
Like Brian Doyle, Mark?
Yeah. There's about 30,000 Murray brothers.
I was about to say.
And there's a nun. So far, she hasn't gotten involved, but I don't know if she has a TV.
So Bill Murray's sitting in Russia, turns his television on.
And there I am.
Roadhouse is on.
Roadhouse is on.
And he's still keeping this tradition going.
Yeah, he is. He's doing it. And in fact, I'm watching Anthony Bourdain, who I love. I'm watching his show, and he's in Charleston, and Bill Murray's on the show, and they talk about it on things. It's like, my God.
While eating like frog's legs or something like that?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Look good, whatever they're eating, but
Damn.
Yeah.
And now here comes Mr. Mercedes, which is great. Again, I congrats on that.
Thank you, and we're so pleased. I mean, you read a script, and you get together and you shoot something, and it just felt like everything I thought this could be. It was and better, because my storyline is with one group of, a small group of people. I'm this kind of sheltered, screwed up woman. but seeing all the characters and everything, I've seen quite a few of the episodes now. I'm just so proud of it, and the reviews have been amazing, and people are understanding what we're trying to say, which is, it's about the monsters within us. It's not the Stephen King, supernatural Stephen King. He wanted to do this kind of hard-boiled detective show, and had an idea about how to bring a detective back into the world who's retired. And it's
Brendan Gleeson, who's phenomenal.
He's amazing. I mean, just working with him every time I get on set, because, I'm Kelly Lynch, I'm Irish. I like dropping to Molly Shannon, the Irish. It's just Brendan Gleeson. He's just, he's an international treasure.
He is that. What do your actual kids think of this mother you're portraying? How many kids do you have?
I have one,
You have
and
one
she's, she's an actor as well. She was just on Twin Peaks. But she basically is an animator. She works at DreamWorks, and they're rebooting She-Ra, which is very cool.
Okay.
Empowered young princess of power. But she knows how much I like complicated, multi-layered characters.
I expected it to be at the end of the day.
I think the name kind of speaks for itself. It affords you a lot of opportunities beyond the yard, so.
The resources in that world that Harvard provides for life.
I wanted to be political science focused, and Harvard seemed like the best place to do that.
It was one of the best Slavic departments in the country.
It's the place to be if you want to do like social sciences, social studies.
I really loved the location, actually.
Obviously, it's a good school, but I also wanted to be in a city.
I also wanted to be in a city, and Boston's a great place.
We have this nice.
Yay.
I'm Canadian, so I don't technically use GPA, but I had an average of 97.
9.8 something out of 10.
Top A-level results in my school.
Straight A's for the GCA levels, which is one of the systems.
Today.
Program. The curriculum here is way more hands-on than a lot of schools.
I always wanted to go to a place where I could build stuff, and coming here for a preview weekend, the people are just really cool.
I didn't realize this at first, but the social scene's also pretty good.
I also play on the squash team here, so I really liked all the guys on the team, and I just it was just a really good fit for me, I think. So,
Oh, that's a big squash guy. I love it.
So it might be a bit strange, but essentially around 2021, I watched Spider-Man, and I thought, because Tom Holland and everyone else are getting in or not getting in, I thought, let me.
Today, I'm gonna.
From your time. What is the most memorable thing you wrote about in your college essay?
Fencing, environmental activism, and coding.
It was about dots, and it was about how dots accumulate into an image, or small things add up to one big significant thing.
I wrote about butterflies, and I talked about my journey when I was younger. I was always super shy and insecure, and I said I'd always had butterflies in my stomach, and then that journey of self-discovery and reflection throughout high school and becoming a social butterfly.
The intersection between my passion for performing arts and my journey discovering my identity as a Black woman.
Kind of stepping outside my comfort zone, so kind of cliche. So I wrote about languages. I wrote about how languages affect me as a person.
High school swim team was.
This is Megan from
yourself, but a reflection of them and how they view themselves.
I would just say being more collaborative than competitive. I think moving through all the school system, the way we get here is by being very competitive. Moving forward, personally, I would like to learn how to collaborate with anybody.
Okay. Do you feel like that's the culture in Penn? Do you feel like that's the culture in Penn is very competitive, or do you think it fosters collaboration?
Yeah, Penn has a very competitive reputation. I think that's more so because of how the school is institutionally set up. More often than not, the people who are for lack of better terms, the most well-respected student leaders are kind of at the top in different things here, are kind of like Devin said, more collaborative. They kind of want to shape the community versus kind of be the sole person who are recognized for different things. So I would actually say Penn, surprisingly, and Wharton especially, is actually much more.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm very well. How are you doing?
Libraries stay open till?
I think about 3 o'clock in the morning.
Okay. How many libraries are on campus?
Maybe five big ones.
Are your libraries social or silent?
There's social and silent ones.
Okay. Which library is your favorite?
Probably Fisher Fine Arts.
Where's your favorite place to study on campus?
The music library in Van Pelt.
How many hours a day?
The motherfucking Eagle Double G.
Much happening just like in your hall. Like there's always have like a Friday night in movie. But yeah, usually like go out, go to dinner, and like go around campus. Like there's always like parties, there's always like events. We went to a Basket Week show last Friday. Yeah, there's just like so much happening. So much happening on campus. I don't know.
There's always so much happening, like Julia said, and she kind of touched on how like there's definitely a party scene, but then there's also there are plenty of activities to do inside. You don't have to go out every weekend. That's definitely not something that feels pervasive.
Right. Of all things, she pretended not to notice, but my friends watching certainly did. So
My admissions essay. I don't know.
Okay.
That wasn't a good question. I don't know the answer to that.
All right.
Hurrah for the red.
We don't know. We're still freshmen.
Yeah, there's definitely
We're still
a song where
learning.
you like go like this. But I don't know what it is,
Something like
but it's
that.
like hurrah pen.
Hurrah pen.
Hurrah pen.
I think it's fucking ridiculous to assume that media has just one purpose, right?
Yeah,
Oh, you think that's weird?
a little.
You don't ever think that maybe you don't ever think that maybe rich people know something that you and I don't?
Good restaurants, maybe.
The threat is clearly increasing. We're seeing an increasing number of attacks, literally on a daily basis. We're seeing more sophisticated attacks, and this is a case where the offense-defense cycle turns very quickly. In conventional combat, when you're building fighter planes, that we're currently building the 5th generation of jet fighter aircraft over a 50-year period. In cyber, the generations spin on a daily basis, right? And so the threat is real, the threat is increasing. The government is making steps in the right direction, but I think we haven't yet seen the sort of cyber Pearl Harbor that will really inspire us to make the decisions we need to make to sacrifice an awful lot of privacy, at least in some part of the internet, in exchange for a greater degree of security.